Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's live session. So, guys, without wasting your time, let's go straight into what we have for this moment. This is a breaking news. I mean, a breaking news. Mr. Daniel Bwala has declared his support for President Tinubu, meaning that he's going to be dumping Atiku to go for Tinubu. Remember, he said without Atiku in the 2027 presidential election, in the PDP, that he will not be supporting the PDP. If Atiku won't be allowed to run in 2027, he will not support the PDP. That is his own declaration before now. But it's coming as a surprise to many Nigerians. Today, he came out to declare his support for Tinubu, and Nigerians are like, where are we, Nigerians? What is happening? Where are we as a country? Is it that we have politicians without ideology? What is triggering all this? That is the question many people are asking. So let me read from what I have here on my screen. It says, today I was delighted to meet that's the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, in the villa to show appreciation and support for the bold decisions he is taking to deal with the crisis confronting our dear country. So that is from Mr. Daniel Bwala. He suddenly realized that this government is taking some bold decisions in addressing the issues Nigeria has today. Don't forget that it has not been long that he came out to say that, give Tinubu 30 years, he's not going to achieve anything for Nigerians. That is him. Even if you give Tinubu 30 years, nothing will work. And all of a sudden, he said he has seen Tinubu taking bold steps, in addressing our challenges. And one keeps wondering how, where, when did it start? So you just find out that, this is what Peter Obi just keeps saying, that we have transactional kind of leaders, people who feel their interests should be put first. We don't have leaders who have these strong ideologies. They can stand firm on what they believe, even when the storms are, raging. They can stick to what their beliefs are. We don't have leaders like that. Honestly, this came as a shock to many Nigerians because he's one of the persons, that have been criticizing this government, even right from the time of, the allegation that has to do with the CSU. He made his own stance bare to everybody that he was not going to support this government, that this, that, and this. And not quite long, some days back, he was on on Channels Television, where he made this statement that even if you give this current administration, he mentioned the name of the president, give him 30 years, he's not gonna do anything for Nigerians. And all of a sudden today, he has suddenly found his voice, and he's saying that he is going to support this president, even if it means him, defecting to the APC. He said he's willing to do it. Just in, I'll support Tinubu without apologies. PDP chieftain Bwala, a chieftain of the opposition party, the People Democratic Party, that is it, Daniel Bwala, on Wednesday, just few hours ago. It's not as if this is a long or an old news. This just happened. On Wednesday, said he's committed to supporting the administration of President Bola Tinubu, even if that requires him to defect to the APC. So I'm going to be playing a video so that you guys are going to watch him speak for himself. Let it not be as if I'm trying to make up words. But my own concern is Nigerians. When we have leaders like this, don't think of Nigeria moving forward. Don't. As in, if you cannot stick to what you believe, you are here today, tomorrow you are there, next tomorrow you are there, you are just moving around. People cannot really know what you stand for. And this is the biggest problem most of our politicians have. We saw Wike, who said, oh, the PDP has just malaria and APC has cancer. How can he just leave malaria and go for cancer that is not even, he's not even sure if he will be treated? And all of a sudden now, there are plans for him to defect in few days now, just it won't take long. He will be moving to the APC, and that is just what we are seeing. And they will tell us they are men of character. We are yet to see all that. So let me just first take some reactions from Nigeria, just a few of them, and then we are going to be watching this video together. This person said, one thing Tinubu is known for is buying his critics. Do you think this person, don't you think this person is making sense? As in, we've seen this government, how desperate they are to take over Rivers State, to take over Kano, to take over Plateau, to take over Zamfara. You know that these cases are still in court. And the judges are even scared to give their own ruling. They are scared. Most of these judgments, they will say, oh, they've been reserved, they've been reserved. Why are they reserving it? They know that they are not doing the right thing. So this person is saying that he is known for buying his critics. He hates being talked about. So he will try and buy them and shut them up. The only person he can't buy and have done everything possible to buy is Peter Obi. And it hurts his ego. I don't know what you think about this tweet. This is one of the obedience, but I tell you, Peter Obi has equally said, oh, they've tried to woo him, they've tried to convince him, they've tried to influence him, but he thinks standing as an opposition is even going to help, not just this government alone, help Nigeria as a country. Because you can imagine a situation where everybody is an APC member. As in, nobody will criticize what you are doing because you can't criticize your party. Nobody will try to checkmate your excesses. So Peter Obi said, I can't join this government. It's better I stand as an opposition. And I tell you, that decision alone, like you see this person tweeted that hurts his ego. They are like, why is Peter Obi very stubborn? Why is he stubborn? We must deal with him. So let me allow you to listen to that video and we'll come back to take some of these reactions because we'll have a lot to share with you.
Okay, I honor the invitation of His Excellency President Bwala Tinubu, who is a father to the nation, who God has given the opportunity to lead the country at this difficult time. And so I came to celebrate and congratulate him, and then to also give him our commitment that as citizens of the country, this is a time for all of us to throw our weight behind and support the administration. I gave an illustration of an aircraft that has taken off. The aircraft is the country. The passengers are the citizens. The pilot is Mr. President. His co-pilot is Excellency the Vice President. The cabin officials might be the ministers or other agents of the Federation. You may not like the takeoff of the airplane. You may have even your perspective about the way the pilot is, walking towards the turbulence, above the sea level. But one fact that must bind all of us is that the plane needs to land so all of us can be alive. When it lands, you can also say you don't like the way it lands. But at the 39,000 feet above sea level, the prayer of everybody, including the pilot and the passenger, will be the safe landing of the plane. Because if the plane crashes, apart from the aircraft getting destroyed, the pilot, the co-pilot, the cabin members, and all the passengers' life at risk. So at this difficult time, what we need is to throw our support and then see how we're able to navigate around. Because there are difficult things in this country, hardship, poverty, insecurity, and the only way we can come together and support the achievement of this objective, I think, is for us to give our best in supporting the administration. So I came to congratulate him and then to tell him that I'm particularly excited about the recent policy decision he has taken to demonstrate that he's about the people and not just protecting his people. He took decisions against certain ministers who allegedly were, said to have committed infraction. The marked difference between him and the previous administration is that the previous administration may want to cover in order to avoid the backlash that the government is corrupt. But he is not about that. If this thing will touch on the poorest of the poor, humanitarian, that's the focus. And anybody who is caught wanting should not be covered. I told Mr. President I was thrilled by that decision. Yesterday again, he surprised us by the policy decision he has made to reduce the cost of governance. So it is like the unfolding. The most important thing in my communication with him was to look at his demeanor as he was talking to me about his passion for the country and the intention, to make sure that he leads a country with integrity. And you can have opinion from outside. When you sit from across table and you hear him, you can see what I've been taught as a lawyer is you not just know the law, you must know the demeanor of the judge. This informs your capacity to advocate. And that's what I did today. I was looking at the demeanor. I could see the passion and the conviction to lead. And that to me is exciting. It's not about party. Okay. This is about the country.
You may misconstrue your visit here today as a member of the major opposition PDP. Right. They'll be wondering, are you defecting? I mean, you've been speaking here like in capacity of an individual citizen.
Yeah.
Are you in that capacity? Are you defecting to the APC?
Or have you defected?
Well, I'm here as a private citizen and who must be bound by the conviction we have towards our country and the need for us to push the country to a better place that we all desire. So I'm not here in the capacity of, first of all, I'm not even a leader in the PDP, I'm a private citizen. But you must also admit that I have had my history with Mr. President. When I was in APC, before the primaries, I was practically his key spokesman as at the time. And I supported his cause because I believed in him. And so I used this opportunity today to even touch on some of those past. And I'm very happy that instead of the president getting actually offended, he gave me some life lesson, about the fact that in life, if you are going to be offended because people took decisions that didn't favor you, you would never be helpful to anybody in life, or you can never relate with people. And so that largeness of the heart to me is encouraging. And I am also here to say I am supporting President Bola Ahmed Tinubu in achieving the objective of the problems we are in the country. I don't think that at this time of hunger and problems in the country, somebody should be here talking about party. And as per defection, God knows tomorrow. But I am fully committed to supporting the cause of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. That has to be made clear.
So guys, there was a part that wasn't captured here where he said even if it means defecting to the ruling party. So Mr. Bwala has suddenly found his voice. This is someone who said he left the APC because of the Muslim ticket. So now he's back again to the APC where the Muslim ticket still exists. That is the ticket that is in office today. So we don't even know what informed his decision. Anyway, he said the president invited him. That's what he said. If you listen to him from the beginning, he said he was invited. So you can then agree with the person who tweeted and said, this current administration likes to buy its critics. And I think that's just what they've succeeded in doing, because all of a sudden, Bwala Dane, who said, give this government, he made this statement days back. I think the date is there. That should be December 26th, if you can look critically. So it's just like 2-3 weeks or thereabout. I don't think it's even up to 3 weeks. He made this statement. And all of a sudden now he's saying, that he has seen some policies that is being put in place. Anyway, that's his own decision. You can't argue it, and you can't deny him, from taking whatever step he has decided to take. But we must try to encourage these politicians. Let them stick to their ideas. Do they even have any ideology? That's even the question. Okay, let's take some of those tweets, because some people even said possibly his pocket is now dry. That is why he suddenly realized that, some decisions are being taken that are going to favor the country. So I've already read this to you, where this lady is saying that the president likes to buy his critics, and the only person he can buy is Peter Obi. Okay, this is Bwala Dane saying, I owe nobody any apology. PDP's Bwala declares as he pledges oath of allegiance to Tinubu. In a surprising turn of events, People's Democratic, it's not completed there, but you can see that he has said he owes nobody any apology, be it Atiku or whosoever. And we all know that he's a staunch supporter of Atiku. He initially said if Atiku is not going to run in the PDP in 2027, he's not going to be supporting the PDP. He might end up leaving the party. He said his membership or his stay in the PDP is depending on Atiku being nominated as the presidential candidate, being given that as the flag bearer. Let me just put it that way. That was what he said. But you can see that now his tone has changed. If supporting Tinubu will take me to APC, so be it, says PDP chieftain Bwala Daniel. So honestly, possibly he has already defected. He's just trying to, try not to like make this outburst. Let there be no outburst because Nigerians are going to speak. So he's saying if for him to have agreed to support the president, it means that, he will end up joining the APC. According to a source, Daniel Bwala is lobbying to replace Senator Simon Lalong. We all know that the senator from the minister who is from Plateau State has gone back to the Senate. So possibly this person is saying he wants to take that position. Nobody knows. I can't really speak to that. So we all know that even the G5 governors, the ex-governors, the G5 governors, I think Makinde is the only 7 governor currently. These other ones are ex-governors. They've equally declared their support to back Tinubu in 2027. And this is just what we keep saying, that these politicians, it's not about the people. It's not about you and I. It's about them. Once it doesn't favor them, then count them off. It's just about them. And they don't want to leave politics. You see, look at them. They don't want to leave politics. They don't want kill, as in let there be no politics existing in Nigeria. Some of these people will go hungry. And you can see they just keep moving from one place to the other, seeking their own political interests, not the interests of the Nigerian people. So you can imagine from PDP, all of a sudden now, all of them want to join the APC. You can imagine. Oh, should there be no Peter Obi currently, the PDP will collapse and there won't be any strong opposition to really, keep these people on their toe. I mean, keep the APC on their toe. So you can see that even Wike has succeeded in converting all these ones. Wike will be leaving for the APC, possibly when he's taking these ones along. And that is why Autumn declares that the G5 governors will be joining Tinubu, will be backing him in 2027. Like Wall said, that whatever, some of the things you see this government doing currently is just ahead of, they are making plans, ahead of 2027. It's not as if they are doing anything to favor the people or to fulfill their promises for the people. No, it's all about them. So let's go back to this corruption that has been rocking the APC and also Nigeria, because I think we are the ones suffering from all this. Peter Obi has equally lent his voice asking for thorough investigation, and those found culprits must be punished. That's what he's saying. And this lady, I mean Edu, Betta Edu, she has come out to say if she is sacked, heads will roll, as in she's going to expose, she's not going to suffer it alone. Nigerians, when politicians begin to speak this way, you have to be wondering what has been happening. If just within the space of 1 year, not even up to 1 year of this government, this kind of looting has been happening. What happened under Buhari in 8 years? So she's saying she's not going to go down alone. Should she be relieved of her position, every other person who is involved, or maybe people she knows what they've done in terms of corruption, are going to go down with her. She's not going to go down alone. Look at this humanitarian ministry. Look at how much that has been allocated to this ministry since it was created. That's from 2020 to 2024. This is in trillion. Nigerians, look at it. We don't even have good hospitals. Look at our schools. Have you gone to Nigerian schools? You don't even talk about the universities. Go and look at the secondary schools. Some students are meant to sit on the floor. I mean, nothing is working in this nation. And see how much, we don't even know where this money is. This trillion, they tell us they used to give market women, they used to give feed school children. See how much Nigerians see this money. Should we have this money today, possibly we won't be going to borrow. Look at how much this is in trillion, and it does not even touch them. It doesn't. So you can imagine the kind of people we have in places of leadership. So we all know that this guy too has been fingered in this Edugate. That's what Nigerians now call this scandal, Edugate. So he's been fingered, and the northerners are equally kicking as to why the president has not suspended him, but he has suspended the two northerners, who are involved in all this corruption, this latest corruption allegation. We all know the ex-minister for the Humanitarian affairs, and then there is this other woman too that is there. Look at the three of them. These three persons have been, okay, the one in the middle is an ex-minister, but these two, the two at both extremes, they've both been suspended at the moment. So the northerners are saying, why will you just suspend those from the north and not someone from the south? So you can see that ethnicity is already being brought into this allegation, or this corruption, or this looting, whatever. I don't think this is what the northerners should be doing at the moment. They should just be quiet and see what these governments will be doing. But I think everybody should condemn corruption. When it comes to corruption, just keep your ethnicity by the corner, and let's say what is wrong is wrong. And like you can see that, okay, this person say, sorry for anyone this might offend, but sometimes it's not by wearing hijab or receiving blessing or prophecy from Daddy Jew. If you are evil, you are evil. Religion is just a cover. Anyway, this has nothing to do with religion. For me, it has nothing to do with religion. It all has to do with, would I say, the kind of upbringing people had, or just people differences. We have individual differences. That's what I think. So that's their own way of life. But it's good that these women are being exposed, because sometimes people will tell you women are super. We know women are super. Honestly, women are super. And that is why this is not even helping, the campaign to include women in government. So this person say, in just 3 months in office, this Fulani woman, Halima Shehu, stole 44 billion naira of public funds. You can then imagine how much Aboki and Afemanu have been stealing since Ofemanu, Aboki and Ofemanu, I think that's what the person is saying, have been stealing since 1960. Even only under Buhari, I think Nigeria must have lost a lot of money, because we saw that Buhari was one kind of leader who was so docile. He's there, you don't even know he's there. Sometimes you don't know if he's in Nigeria, if he's outside Nigeria. And we saw that we will only be told that money has been borrowed. But how this money will end up being spent, Nigerians were not carried along. So this has to do with the level of corruption that is happening. So she's saying that okay, let me read this. And okay, this person is like saying that she's going to learn. She'll learn if she will learn from her mistakes. This is Femi Pedro, I don't know who is this, asking Nigerians just to like forgive her and give her a second chance, that she's going to learn from her mistake. But she has come out to say that heads will roll, and people are like saying that the boldness of APC thieves, sack me and heads will roll. That is coming from Edu, and that is why Nigerians are like shouting that who gave her this kind of boldness to say, oh, if she's being sacked, that she's not going to go down alone. So I want us to quickly take this, and then I'm going to share one video to you people, and then we'll call it
60 years of mining oil. Why up to date you don't have a processing and a refinery to purify your oil and sell petrol to the world? That's why the oil pipes of Nigeria are passing through villages where poverty is worst. British Petroleum. And Nigeria has to import back its own fuel as a processed product at a price 3 to 4, 5 times more than they send it out of the country. No, those mines don't belong to us. The government signed a document with the British government, and it's in the constitution. It's in the law that Britain will mine this place for the next 99 years. I don't know how long is the lease. So you have the same law that you vote leaders into, and when they get into this law, The Western world always make sure the person going onto that chair understands the law which protects us. So the revolutionaries that are coming in now seem to have poor knowledge of law.
That's to tell you the level of corruption in Nigeria. Honestly, that is what is killing this country. Corruption across all the government bodies. And, they are never transparent. That is one thing that is going to make Peter Obi stand out. He said he's going to carry Nigerians along. He's going to be transparent. This government has borrowed. Do you know how much they've borrowed since they came into power? Buhari left, I think, a 77 trillion debt. Now we are at 80 something, I think about 86. This government has been borrowing. Sometimes we don't even know when the money comes in, and even when they go for the borrowing, we don't. Maybe before this government finishes this administration, you'll be surprised how much Nigeria is going to be owing. And thanks to corruption, that is just what is killing this nation. Borrow the money and let's do what we want to do with it.
Reports linking the Minister of Interior, Olubunmi Tunji-Ojo, with the 438 million naira contract awarded by the suspended Minister of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Elevation, Dr. Betta Edu, to New Planet Project, a company the Interior Minister co-founded and is currently a significant shareholder. The minister, who was cited at the presidential villa on Tuesday following the controversy, had claimed on live television that he is no longer involved in the running of the firm, having resigned as a director in 2019.
The company in question was a company where I was a director, and about 5 years ago, I had resigned my directorship over 5 years ago.
You own the company?
Yes, I founded the company 15 years ago.
Because the document online shows
definitely
that
I
yourself and your wife, isn't it?
I founded the company 15 years ago, but in 2019, when I got to the House of Representatives, when I won election, precisely, I did a change of, this is it, you can have a look at it. This is, you can see it there.
That is a CSC document.
Certified true copy dated 2019, almost 5 years ago. I had resigned as director of the company. Is the company not entitled to bid for anything? I am not. I did it. I'm not Minister of Humanitarian. I'm Minister of Interior. This company can never work under Interior because that would be conflict of interest. That would be abuse of office. I never did that. So, and the company is a private entity. For me, I know there'll be a lot of pushbacks. And I'm saying this very clearly. This is not my first public office. I was member of the House of Reps. And as member of House of Reps, before I had resigned as a director.
Well, that was the interview that was trending on social media. I mean, there's so many things we got out of that information. The fact that he has owned, that he owns the company, and he's a significant shareholder of that company, violates many laws. Well, the payments set to be made to the company, founded by the minister, include 279 million naira for the verification of beneficiaries on the National Social Register and an additional 159 million naira for the same purpose. The company, which was registered on March 3rd, 2009, still has the minister and his wife, Bwala, listed on the CAC website as directors. This was the question that the anchor was asking. It shows that you are still directors. I mean, why did CAC not remove it since 2019, 5 years ago? In the meantime, Senate President Godswill Akpabio, back in 2020, named the Interior Minister, who was at the time a lawmaker and chairman of the House Committee for the NDDC, as one of the many National Assembly members who benefited from numerous NDDC contracts. Adesoa Giwa Osage interviewed the minister for our Untold Story project as he tried to clarify the allegations.
So as NDDC chairman, there's a very infamous situation that happens when the former minister, now the Senate President, Akpabio, is speaking and you ask him to off his mic.
I never did.
It was not you?
I didn't preside because I recused myself.
You recused yourself?
So it was my dad.
It's okay. Let me explain. No, it's okay. Let me explain. It's okay. It's okay. You must not allow the two chairmen to handle the budget every day. It's okay. Off your mic. It's okay. Off your mic. Like me.
Yes, of course, I always believe I come to equity and I come with clean hands. So I had nothing to hide. So when they said they were in cover, I said, okay, I recused myself so that
from that committee so that the investigation could go on. But Akpabio at that time also clarified that, oh, he made a mistake. But you could hear him there. He said that the chairman of that committee benefited from so many projects, which is the main issue. Let me take a tweet on social media. This is from Chris, who wrote, Minister Olubunmi Tunji-Ojo should be suspended as part of the ongoing investigation. 1. Minister Olubunmi Tunji-Ojo claims he is no longer a signatory to the account of New Planet Projects Limited, which got a whopping 338 million naira from Dr. Betta Edu, is not acceptable. 2. His wife is a director of the company. 3. He also remains a key shareholder and person of significant influence. 4. It is alleged that Bumi Ojo colluded with Betta Edu to divert more than 500 million naira to himself, of which a significant amount relates to consultancy fees. 5. If his activities are properly investigated, you can be assured that he will also have awarded a contract to Betta Edu from his ministry in return, or Betta Edu will benefit indirectly from his millions. Young ministers cut deals and embarrass the youth. 6. We are not calling for his suspension for being a signatory to the company's account. Instead, we are calling for his resignation in case of a conflict of interest. 7. It is also evident he has used his position to influence his company to get the contract. 8. We are also calling for an investigation to unravel dealings in Betta Edu's schemes that have not yet been discovered and possible prosecution. 9. The only way to guarantee a fair investigation is for him to resign or be suspended. 10. We acknowledge his current efforts in the government. However, corrupt individuals must be dealt with decisively. Making an effort to make our passport issuance system better is not an excuse for being corrupt. He is only doing his job as a minister. I think Chris put all the concerns of Nigerians in that one tweet. He made mention of so many things, which for me, the most important is that idea of conflict of interest. Because you could hear Bumi in that interview saying, how can I be awarding contracts? That contract will not work under the Ministry of Interior because it will be a conflict of interest. There is no difference at this point. Dr. Abati, really quickly.
So guys, you have seen how this transaction happens. So from the tweet that she just read, this person was saying that possibly this man benefited from the Gate controversy so that later the Minister for Humanitarian Affairs might equally benefit from his own ministry. He's the Minister for Interior Affairs and the other person is from Humanitarian Affairs. So you can see how they try to exchange whatever. The money goes, as in the money that belongs to Nigeria circulates among our politicians. They don't allow anyone to go to the masses. Look at the amount of money. Look at how much is being mentioned here. And this Edu allowed that to have happened. She was trying to allow the minister to also get this contract for his company, although investigations are yet to be carried out. But that is what the tweet that was just read out is trying to say. They allow all this, but they help themselves. Let me just use that language. They help themselves. And these are borrowed funds. Nigerians will pay back this money. And see how these ministers, these politicians are fixing their lives with this money that is meant, for the Nigerian people. And at the end of the day, all the servicing of the debt and all that will come from the people who can't even eat. Nigerians are going through hard times, but you can see how these politicians are enjoying themselves with resources that belong to the entire Nigeria. So that is it. So people are saying that this man should be suspended so that investigation will be properly handled. Well, some people are equally saying, oh, he's from the West, possibly Southwest, possibly he might not really get the same treatment that Betta Edu and the other lady have gotten. And that is where the Northerners are saying they are not going to let it happen, that he should equally be suspended like the other two ministers so that investigation will commence. I don't know what you think about that. You can drop your thoughts in the comment section, but you can see the level of transaction we have among our leaders. And one keeps wondering, you know, these people, you need to see the video where this Edu preaches transparency, how they are going to be transparent, how they are going to make sure everything is being done, you know, following due process. But look at it, not even up to 1 year in office. You see how much is being mentioned. Look at how much is being mentioned. Some of them don't even have any business. Okay, the man that is being fingered here, he has a company. He has once served, you know, at the National Assembly, and now he has this ministerial post, and he was accused during the time of Akpabio's investigation that he benefited from some of the contracts. So the wealth of Nigeria is just circulating among our politicians. It's circulating among our politicians. They will get this contract that they are supposed to give to the ordinary people so that they will also employ people to work with them. They themselves, the ministers, will still, under your office, you will still be taking those contracts and giving it to those you think you might end up still get some benefit from them. So Nigerians, there are a whole lot. We can't wait to have a new Nigeria. I don't even know how possible this is going to be, but let's just be optimistic, because we have more of the bad people than the good people in Nigeria. I mean, we have more of the corrupt ones than the ones that are not corrupt. And one just keep wondering, how did we get here?
Okay, there are rules and regulations in the books. It is just that, unfortunately, in Nigeria, nobody respects those rules. They are often, observed in the breach to such an extent that it almost becomes standard practice for government officials to break the law. Now, in this particular case, earlier on I talked about influence peddling of corrupt influence. Mm-hmm. If you are a minister and you are using your position to get contracts for a company for which you are associated, with which you are associated. Yeah, he said he resigned in 2019, but his wife is there. He's still the biggest shareholder. If we probably check the other shareholders will probably be his children, his cousins, relatives of his wives. And then all of a sudden, this new planet company is now truly in a new planet in charge of major government contracts.
It's been existing for years. They've been doing a lot of government
new planet project, but now they are in a new planet. Well, if you like, universe. So these are issues for the investigators to look into. And it's not enough for him to say, I'm just a shareholder, I'm not a director. No. The position that he occupies places him in a position where he can peddle influence. And if he says he's still a shareholder, what the Code of Conduct law says, sections 5 and 6, is that once you have a public position, you leave some of these other engagements. You are only allowed to be a farmer, and to the best of our knowledge, New Planet Project Limited is not a farming outfit. It's two other contracts involved. Then, of course, each of these ministries are supposed to have internal auditing processes. That has also failed in many of these ministries. That's why a minister can just say, go and put this money in this person's
private
account.
Accounts.
Abandonment of financial regulations. Financial regulations 1709 in particular, will seem to apply. So you have these breaches all over the system. But what is important, the challenge that many Nigerians, not just the gentleman whose demands you listed, the Young Progressives Party, and also the People's Democratic Party, they are both saying also that, look, suspend the minister to allow for proper investigation. That no president takes bullets for his employees. It's the employees that should take bullets for the president. If it comes to that, let the people who will take the bullets, so that President Tinubu can use this opportunity to make a statement. But the authorities must do so in a fair manner. Nobody should be victimized for an offense that they have not committed.
I mean, my biggest issue, Ayo, is that disregard for processes. We're seeing here 438 million naira used to review social register. What was the I mean, how did they account for that?
Like I said yesterday, President Tinubu's government stinks with this corruption. It's an indictment on him. In a fell swoop, 2 ministers, less than how many months? That's why I'm happy about his action he's taking. It's a deep one, and when you know when people will talk about it even more, will be during the electoral season. And that's why
Yes.
Mr. Olubumi Ojo, and I'm also saying this on live television,
Yes.
whoever advised you to go on television to start a defense you had no solid position about, just roasted you alive. And it has to be said, whoever advised you roasted you alive. Because you see, you were making arguments that were not great enough, that were not substantiated. You could hear yourself.
They're contradicting.
They were contradicting.
Yes.
You're saying you're a shareholder in a company. And also, the case of that NDDC must be investigated. Because we just swept that case under the carpet.
Yes.
Today, Akpabio is
Senate
Senate president.
Senate president.
And we can't just say a case like that and just off your mic. And guess what? I also talk about that NDDC.
Yes.
There's been a white paper released. The government should act on that white paper. They have finished the investigation. It was revealed many things happened in that white paper. They should be clear with people as regards that white paper, because we can't just allow brazen corruption go. And
So guys, you've heard it. You can see what's happening in Nigeria. That's why you don't need to sit back and behave as if it does not concern you. If it doesn't concern you, it's going to concern your children. It's going to concern your children. Because this corruption of a thing is deeply rooted in our system. Peter Obi said it's not the change is not going to come easy. It's going to take so much effort for us to achieve what we want to achieve. It is so bad in Nigeria. I mean, corruption. It has eaten into the whole system. Like you can see, even when they err, they will come out to defend themselves. Nobody feels sorry. Nobody comes out to apologize to the Nigerian people. Look at that of Akpabio. Today, he is the Senate president. So you can imagine that's the third person when it comes to, hierarchy. The president is first, vice president. He is the third, somebody who was named in such corrupt allegation. Today, he's your Senate president. And you tell me that Wike will not become president of Nigeria after all that happened during the last election. He's already eyeing 2027, possibly, though he said he's not going to run if should Tinubu be running. So you can imagine that these politicians, they don't even have shame, and they don't even feel, they don't want to know what people are saying about them. That's just it. When people have lost their conscience, what do you expect from them? So that is it. That's to tell you the level of corruption we are into. So this coming from the central bank. The CBN has sacked boards of the Union, Titan, and Keystone. These are banks that are, that are linked to Emefiele. That's what they said. It's still an allegation. I don't know. So the board has been dissolved by the CBN, possibly to ensure that Emefiele does not really achieve his goal, in acquiring those banks. I don't really know how true all those allegations are. Anyway, investigations are yet to be conducted. This is a corruption lingers in Nigerian army as soldiers in Zamfara lament non-payment of December allowances or allowance, 3 meals reduced to 1 daily. Nigerians, this is what we are saying. Corruption everywhere. Like we've been told that the banditry that is happening in Nigeria is a multi-million or multi-billion, industry where people don't even want the thing to stop because there are people who are benefiting from it. We've seen how much this government have been budgeting in terms of security. So some people are happy when the budget is even climbing because they know they are going to be partaking. So, but I just pray that what is happening today will help in exposing more ministries, as to what has been happening that they are covering up. And like we've seen Mrs. Edu has said, if she is if she's sacked, that she's not going to go down alone. She's going to be exposing more people. So we just hope that that happens. I pray they sack her so that she will equally use that opportunity to disclose to Nigerians what has been happening behind the scene that we do not know about. But that's to tell you how much corrupt or how much corruption we have in Nigeria, or how corrupt our leaders are. And that is why we have to be very careful in making our decisions, especially during elections. Let's ensure we vote people with character, people we can trust, people we know what they've done in the past and who they are currently. Let's not just be blind, vote blindly. You want to vote because you were given 5K. Now look at what is happening. See how much they're embezzling. Where is that your 5K now when you come to compare it with these billions and billions we have been talking about? You can't compare it. And you see, Nigerians are just suffering. So guys, let's end it at this point. I want to appreciate you all for joining me. Thank you so much. I do not take your time for granted. Please don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel to support me, and also turn on the notification bell for more updates. You can also buy us a cup of coffee by joining. There is a join button beneath, or you buy us a super thanks or a super sticker. That is the privilege YouTube gives to people who create content on the platform. I want to say a very big thank you for being a part of this live session. God bless you and have a good night's sleep. Bye.